It's the Hudson Valley Artist Spotlight on 100.7 WHUD. My guest in tonight's Hudson Valley Artist Spotlight is the vocalist and guitarist for a three-piece band that's based in Nyack. They've been creating music together for over 10 years, but have officially been together in this incarnation since 2008. They're called Mr. Breakdown, and their music spans many genres, focused mostly on soul and reggae. I'd like to welcome Mike Kemmlein of Mr. Breakdown to our Hudson Valley Artist Spotlight. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
By the way of background information, the band members have known each other for quite a while, as I mentioned, but how did you ultimately decide that the time was right to get together in this particular fashion as the band Mr. Breakdown?
As you said, we've known each other for a long time, childhood friends. We all started playing music about the same time when we were young guys, jamming, doing the other sort of jazz funk thing, just jamming and being buddies. And then all of a sudden, a singer kind of knocked on our door randomly at a rehearsal studio and wanted to start jamming, and then next thing you know, we sort of changed directions and started this whole Mr. Breakdown thing.
I'm always very curious as to how a band decides on its musical style. Yours is funk meets soul meets reggae. How did that become the band's signature styling?
Growing up, our family members had kind of put us onto all different kind of music when we were younger, and the drummer's father had actually gotten us into a band called Tower of Power, which is a huge funk band that we're just totally in love with. Pretty much just being young guys, that was a huge influence on us. And the bass player was really into Bob Marley when we were growing up. A bit further, we just discovered different music like Fela Kuti and Afro-Cuban music and all sorts of different things. And you find out what speaks to you. It's easy to make music that you love at a certain time. We figured it out, so that's what Mr. Breakdown is at this point.
What was it about that type of music that made it so appealing to you?
Funk music, it just feels good. It's grooving, it's dancing, it's good times. It's easy to pick funk music for us.
Who decided on the name of your band?
I actually kind of stumbled upon it, inspired by another friend's band's name. He was called Mr. Twilight or Mr. something. I don't know what it was, but it was basically, I liked the Mr., and then the breakdown thing came from us throwing in these different funk breakdowns or horn breakdowns or different, like a drum and guitar thing. We just kept saying breakdown all the time. We were developing our song. That's kind of where that came from.
My guest in tonight's Hudson Valley Artist Spotlight is Mike Kemmlein of Mr. Breakdown. Let's talk a little bit about the songwriting aspect, Mike, if we could. First of all, who's most responsible for it, or does it vary?
It's totally collaborative. The drummer can be found writing bass lines. We all write the horn lines together. We had a lyricist for a while, and he was responsible for most of the vocals. But again, just coming to rehearsal, we all have ideas. The thing is, we've been working together for so long, and we're such good friends that it's very easy to toss ideas around to each other and come up with different things.
Is there a formula that you use in your songwriting, or is it spontaneous?
Ideas can come from jamming for sure, or people just bring in ideas from home when they're doing things. But then the idea behind Mr. Breakdown is that we're trying to go for a slightly more pop structure. Maybe not so in the music itself, but just the arrangements of it. If you come to a live show, you'll see us jamming for sure, letting the horn players go off. That's kind of one of our biggest strengths, being a group that's played together for 10-plus years. It's very easy for us to catch a groove and jam and have some fun. But the songwriting, for sure, is more structured and a pop kind of thing.
You mentioned your live shows. Do you have any gigs coming up in the next couple of weeks where our listeners can come and see the band play live?
We're from Nyack, and we play there quite a bit. We're playing at Olive's Bar on Main Street on December 16th, which is a Friday. We'll also be back there on the 22nd, which is a Thursday night, playing with a band called Foreman. And then on the 23rd, we're going to be at the world-famous Bitter End in New York City, playing a late-night show. And that's pretty much it for local stuff for the rest of the year.
I hear you're also currently working on a full-fledged album of songs. How's that going, and when can we expect it to be out?
We're recording in a couple of different studios, one locally, J-Rod Productions, I believe he's in Pomona. It's going really well. We're getting a bunch of our friends to help us out with horns and percussion and different stuff like that, some keyboards, some great players. It's a nice eclectic album, and it's pretty funny because, like I said, we've been together for 10 years, as playing together. This is the first record that we've done together. It's exciting for us. We can't wait to get it out. And it should be out late January, early February. We haven't decided on the date yet.
Mike, give us your website so that our listeners can keep up with what you're doing as well as the progress of the new album.
Great. It's nice and easy. It's www.mrbreakdown.com. It's Mr. MR.
Mike, the song we have ready to play is called Only One. Would you set this up for us by giving us a little bit of the background regarding the song?
The song Only One was created by just an idea. It was written in about 2 minutes. The bass player just had a simple idea, and it was one of those magical things where in, about 15 minutes we had a great song.
Mike Kemmlein of Mr. Breakdown, many thanks for being my guest in tonight's Hudson Valley Artist Spotlight. I want to wish you and your bandmates the best with your live gigs that you call dance parties and with your forthcoming CD. Here's Mr. Breakdown with Only One on 100.7 WHUD.
What makes a man lose everything on top of his own mind? Could it be a woman? What gives a man the courage and the power to fix his life? Could it be that woman? Some men they stay, some men they choose to run and never say goodbye. So now we pray we find the one that is right. It seems like you're the only one. Girl, you know you look so bright. It seems like you're the only one. How many times in life have we forgotten wrong from right? You win some and you lose some, without the one you love and trust to lead you to the light. You end up in the wrong song. So now we try, but still we lose our way. Confusion in her eyes, until the day I lose my life. I'm true to what I signed. It seems like you're the only one. Girl, you know you look so fine. It seems like you're the only one. And I love it when you take your time. It seems like you're the only one. My darling, now you blow my mind. It seems like you're the only one. Some men they stay, some men they choose to run and never say goodbye. So now we pray we find the one that is for right.